Before the arrival of the internet and instant fact-checking capabilities, there was a time when rock music urban legends and myths were spread far and wide by word of mouth. Sometimes the rumors are completely fabricated lies, while other times the legend is based on actual facts, but with wild speculation or embellishments regarding the details added along the way. So let's turn it up to 11 and take a look at some rock music urban legends, myths, and weird stories, and the truth behind them that you may not have known about. Fight first, friends later. Guns N' Roses were on the ascent toward the apex of their monstrous success in the late 1980s, riding high with a massively popular album release, world tours, millions of fans worldwide, and constant MTV video plays. It was regarding an incident at a video shoot for the song It's So Easy from their debut album Appetite for Destruction that the rumor originates. The story goes that Axl Rose and David Bowie got into a fistfight and then became friends after Axl punched him in the face for something that David did at the video shoot. What really happened? Yes, it's all true. It seems that David Bowie visited the set of the video shoot and focused too much attention on Axl's girlfriend at the time, Erin Everly. Later, at a venue that the band was playing at, and where David Bowie also happened to be, the two started throwing punches over the beef, with Bowie running away and Axl chasing after him shouting, "I'm going to get you, Tin Man!" Seems that later on they patched things up and became friends at some point. Do-it-yourself funeral. Singer-songwriter Graham Parsons, a former member of the Byrds, the Flying Burrito Brothers, and a solo artist, died of a drug overdose in September of 1973 at the age of 26 while on a getaway to the Joshua Tree National Park. That was certainly a tragedy, but the morbid legend isn't related to anything that happened while he was alive. It's what happened to his body after he died. The story goes that his body was stolen from the Los Angeles International Airport and transported back to the Joshua Tree National Park, where cremation was attempted by pouring gasoline on the body and lighting it on fire. Did it happen? Yes, indeed. It certainly did happen. Two friends drove a stolen hearse to the airport, retrieved his body and casket, transported it to Cap Rock at the park, and attempted the DIY cremation. The two were arrested and fined for theft of a coffin, but not the body, as there was no law for that offense at the time. An interesting footnote to this rock and roll tragedy is that the Joshua Tree Inn, where Parsons died, is still open and offers a room to book that is dedicated to the rock star, decorated with memorabilia, posters, and artifacts. A Monkee's mom helps you cover your mistakes. The Monkees, that created for TV American rock band inspired by the Beatles, gave us classic songs like Last Train to Clarksville, Daydream Believer, and I'm a Believer. There are a few different rumors surrounding the Monkees, but this one is related to their guitar player, Mike Nesmith. Was it true that his mother invented liquid paper, the typing error correction fluid, and that he inherited the fortune that was earned from the invention? Yes, this story is absolutely true. Betty Nesmith Graham invented the product in the 1950s while working as an executive secretary at a Texas bank and began marketing it to the public. The product became quite successful in the mid-1960s and was eventually sold to the Gillette Corporation in 1979 for $47.5 million, of which Mike Nesmith received half, and the other half went toward philanthropy. The Mayfair Curse House. Harry Nillson was a singer, songwriter, and musician who was most successful in the late 1960s and early 1970s. The legend of the curse concerns Harry's flat in the Mayfair section of London, where he would often lend it to friends to stay at when they were in town, and he was not in residence at the time. Sadly, tragedy struck at the house on the night of July 29, 1974, when Cass Elliot, formerly of the Mamas and the Papas, passed away there from what was rumored as choking on a ham sandwich, but later confirmed that a heart attack had ended her life. An eerie echo to that sad event was that 4 years later, on September 7, 1978, rock drummer Keith Moon of The Who died at the very same residence from an accidental drug overdose. Was the house cursed? Harry Nillson certainly thought so, and was so completely distraught over both of his friends' deaths at the property that he never set foot in the place again, and sold the property. Who bought it? Someone who must not believe in curses, as it was purchased by Keith Moon's bandmate Pete Townsend in 1980. Future horror hostess album cover model. We all know and love Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, as a beloved horror movie hostess and movie star. She has been a pop culture phenomenon for decades and is still active in the entertainment business. Before becoming Elvira, Cassandra Peterson worked as a Las Vegas showgirl, movie actress, Italian rock band singer, model, and briefly dated Elvis in the 1970s. What music myth is attributed to her? It is alleged that she is the uncredited model on the cover for Tom Waits' Small Change album. This legendary speculation enjoyed many years of equivocal responses from Ms. Peterson, where she stated that it could be her on the cover, but that she did a lot of that type of work in the 1970s and really didn't remember. Was it her or not? No. Sadly, this great music folklore has been confirmed as 100% not true by her management team in late 2020, and that it is definitely not Cassandra in the photo. Volkswagen Melonhead. Bat Out of Hell rock star Meatloaf was born as Marvin a Day, but the world came to know him by the name of the baked ground beef dish. Besides a rock legend, Mr. Loaf has also acted in Fight Club and Rocky Horror Picture Show, and numerous other movies, and is still entertaining us to this day. But what about the name Meatloaf? Is it true that he let his friends in Texas drive over his head with a Volkswagen, and then afterward one of the friends remarked that, "You're as dumb as a hunk of meatloaf," and that the name stuck? It's a great rock and roll myth, but nope, it didn't happen at all. That would have been foolish and dangerous. Meat says that he got the name Meatloaf from both his father and from a sports coach. His father called him Meat since he was a baby, and the coach called him Meatloaf after Marvin stepped on his foot. Rock and roll speed demon. Eric Clapton, the guitar hero that emerged in the 1960s and showed the world what virtuoso rock music guitar skill was all about, and has kept it going even into his golden years, has another passion that many might not know about. Success and fame have provided Eric the means to indulge in the pastime of collecting and driving very expensive, rare, and fast automobiles. So, is it true that Eric got too many speeding citations and has been banned from ever driving again? While Eric is known for his enviable car collection and fondness for driving fast on public roads, he has never received a lifetime ban from driving. He has, however, received many citations and has had his driving privileges temporarily revoked on multiple occasions. It seems like age hasn't slowed down the speedy rocker, as he still receives citations fairly regularly. Gatefire of Irony. Grace Slick, the goddess of the Aquarius Age and 1960s flower power provocateur, was a member of the seminal psychedelic rock band Jefferson Airplane, later morphing into Jefferson Starship. Long a staple of rock music history and legend, and a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, she produces and displays artwork still to this day. In September of 1993, a brush fire destroyed Grace's house in Marin County north of San Francisco. That much is true. But what about the rumor that the fire was ironically caused by government workers welding a sign to a metal gate that read, "Danger, fire area"? It turns out that it is not a rumor and 100% true. Grace eventually sued the county and received a settlement and relocated to Malibu, and credits the incident with helping her begin her journey on the path to sobriety. Here's your terrible album, my dear. Marvin Gaye achieved incredible levels of success with two chart-busting albums in the early 1970s, What's Going On and Let's Get It On. Things were going peachy in his professional life, but not so much in his personal life. In 1973, Marvin acrimoniously separated from Anna Gordy, his wife of 10 years and Motown founder Berry Gordy's sister, and with a divorce occurring in 1975. Legend has it that Anna was to receive royalties from Marvin's 15th studio album titled Here My Dear that would satisfy a settlement agreement, and that Marvin intentionally created a bad album that wouldn't sell to cheat her out of the royalties. Is it true? The myth is based on some facts of an agreement that the former couple entered into. But Marvin did not intentionally create a bad album to cheat Anna. He did, however, create Here My Dear as a high-concept album chronicling his pain and anger at Anna that just happened not to sell very well. Despite the album not selling well, Marvin still owed Anna the remaining balance of the settlement at the time of his death in 1984, of which she received nothing, as the IRS had first dibs on estate proceeds to settle outstanding tax liabilities. Collective cognitive lapse. In the 1970s and early 1980s, Aerosmith was known for their heavy partying and extensive intake of recreational party substances. As a result, by the 1980s, their creativity, popularity, and careers began to arc downwards. This rumor is related and goes like this. For one concert, Aerosmith decided to play their set list in reverse, then opened with the encore, and then mistakenly walked off stage thinking the show was over. Did it actually happen? Although it sounds completely plausible, the band denies it, and there isn't any evidence available to prove that it did happen, so we'll just have to take Aerosmith's word for it. The band does concede, however, that they once did play the same song twice at a concert during their altered consciousness career phase, and that it was the kind of thing that stopped people from coming to their shows. We hope that you enjoyed this video, and perhaps discovering some new things about the myths and legends from the world of rock music. Let us know in the comments below which ones were your favorites, or maybe some that we didn't cover. As always, our sincere thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe.